After getting drunk, I held my sworn enemy tightly in my arms. She took out her family heirloom ring and slipped it onto my index finger. "Now you're mine." The entire venue fell breathlessly silent. Miss Qi caught my fidgeting hand. "You put it on the wrong finger, husband." The guest erupted instantly, because Qingrou and I were widely known as sworn enemies. I hated Qingrou. I hated her to my very bones. But no one knew I had been reborn. In my past life, there was a fire. It left me disfigured and voiceless. Everyone despised me and found me disgusting. Yet she held me and kept saying, "Chen, don't be afraid. I'm here." Only then did I realize the person I hated most was the one who loved me most in this world. At the moment of death, she held me tightly. Her icy lips brushed my ear. She pleaded softly, "Chen, will you love me?" "I love you," I screamed, heartbroken. "I love you." But she could never hear me again. The day I was reborn, I was on the red carpet at an award ceremony. The woman was breathtakingly beautiful, leaning elegantly against a car. At one glance, she was the only person left in my world. Ignoring everything, I ran across the red carpet toward her. The words she never heard, "I love you." I said them to her again. "I love you." The entire venue was stunned, including everyone watching the livestream, because everyone recognized the woman in my arms. Qingrou, the eldest daughter of the Qi family in Jingdu. She was so noble, so untouchable, that everyone knew she was dangerous, yet still willingly fell under her spell. In an instant, the noisy venue went dead silent. Only the camera flashes kept firing. Compared to the silent venue, the livestream comments were especially wild. "What is Shicheng doing? How dare he kiss my President Xi? He has gone mad chasing fame. First he hit Xi Yibai on livestream. Then he forcibly kissed Miss Qi. Has reading novels warped his brain? Does he think this will make him famous? This eldest Miss Qi is famous for keeping men at arm's length. She does not even spare Xi Yibai a glance. Who does he think he is? Is he trying to get himself killed? I heard he and Miss Qi have never gotten along since childhood. Heh, this should be entertaining. I don't give a damn. He kissed my wife. Why doesn't he just die? Don't worry. Miss Qi will not let him off." Forget the audience. Even my friend and manager, Songyi, was nearly bug-eyed with shock. He knew my relationship with Qingrou fairly well. We were childhood sweethearts, in a manner of speaking, but we were not childhood friends who got along. Quite the opposite. Our relationship was atrocious. Whenever Qingrou showed up somewhere, I would need to spray air sanitizer to disinfect the place, because I liked Momo since childhood. But Momo hated Qingrou, who was adored by everyone. So I hated Qingrou by association. I had hated Qingrou since childhood as well. At that moment, Songyi thought exactly what the viewers did. Chen had gone mad chasing fame. Not far away, Xi Yibai still held his cheek. His pupils narrowed slightly, but a mocking smile surfaced in his eyes. HMPH. Shicheng even dares provoke Qingrou now. Isn't he afraid that crazy woman will kill him? Qingrou's bodyguards exchanged uneasy looks. When I rushed over, they had wanted to stop me, but their third miss stopped them with a look. Had the Xi family's eldest young master changed tactics? Was he using a new scheme to hurt their third miss? Or had the Xi family's eldest young master hidden poison in his mouth? Was he planning to poison their third miss with a kiss? Yet no one was more shocked than Qingrou herself. When Chen ran toward me, I thought he was trying to humiliate me. I was quite curious to see what else this disowned eldest son planned to do. Before Qingrou could sneer at me, I lowered my eyes and pressed my thin lips precisely to hers. Qingrou's mind buzzed in that instant. Frozen stiff, she thought, is Chen trying to bite my neck? Huh. He bit my lips instead. Should I say something? Reminded Chen that he picked the wrong spot. Ha. Qingrou, I love you. My voice was ethereal, as though a light breeze could scatter it. Qingrou's heart suddenly clenched. Her fingers pressed against my shoulders, pushing me away. Her action thrilled the livestream viewers. Look, he is about to get slapped. Qingrou looked up at me. My face was filled with the tangled emotion of having found what I had lost. Qingrou's heart tightened painfully, just as everyone waited for her to land a hard slap across my face. Qingrou instead stroked my cheek. What is wrong, Chen? What happened? What is going on? This Miss Qi, who kept men at arm's length, should have slapped him by now. Sending this man who took advantage of her flying, right? Everyone exchanged baffled looks. The camera flashes went nonstop. Livestream comments flew across the screen. Viewer numbers kept skyrocketing until the stream froze and disconnected. It disconnected. Platform. Fix it now. If I cannot see Miss Qi beat him up, I will not be able to sleep tonight. At that moment, in my eyes, the whole world faded away. She was the only one in my world. My voice was terribly hoarse. I missed you. My arms were still around her, tightening around her waist, as though I feared she would disappear. Qingrou. I missed you so much. I really did. Qingrou thought. Chen called me Qingrou. Could he have mistaken me for someone else? Qingrou fell silent for a moment. Then she suddenly looked around. The others sneaking looks at the drama abruptly turned away. Some stared at the sky, while others stared at the ground. Qingrou knew this was not the place to talk. Frowning, she took hold of my arm, wanting me to release her waist, but her movement panicked me. I hurriedly held her tighter. Do not go. Please do not leave me. I will behave from now on. I promise. Qingrou's delicate face was full of helplessness. I was not going to leave you. Come on, get in the car. I did not believe her. I stubbornly held on to her. I am afraid if I let go, you will disappear. This all feels too much like a dream so beautiful that I dare not let go. Then what will it take for you to let me go? Kiss me once. Qingrou, kiss me. Let me know you are really here. Please. I had just kissed her, but before it felt real, she pushed me away. I really wanted to kiss her. I wanted to feel the warmth of her lips, not as cold as when she whispered in my ear, begging me to love her. Qingrou's red lips parted slightly. That mouth of a Chen's has always known only how to anger me. But today, who knows what got into him? Suddenly, he knew exactly how to sweet-talk me. Was he baiting me into embarrassing myself before the whole internet? So he could mercilessly mock me later, with proof that I had fallen for a pretty face? Qingrou's red lips curved faintly. Too bad. Since childhood, Qingrou, have feared no honey trap. With that thought, Qingrou gave a soft laugh. Her slender fingers brushed my cheek. Then she lifted her head and embraced me. The moment Qingrou raised her head, the livestream platform came back online. At the end of the red carpet on camera, a beautiful, elegant woman and a handsome man. The scene was as lovely as a fairy tale, like a prince and princess locked in an embrace. Before eager viewers could even see clearly, comments began flooding in. No way. She really kissed him. She really did. Oh my God. She hit him hard with her lips. The trending charts exploded across the board. Some people thought I had found dirt on the Qi family's eldest daughter and blackmailed her. Others thought I had seduced her. Still others believed I had used some kind of dark magic to bewitch Qingrou. In short, no one believed Qingrou had truly wanted to kiss me. To online viewers, Qingrou and I were parallel lines, never meant to meet. One was in the heavens, the other on the ground. Someone declared, just wait. When Miss Qi comes to her senses, Shicheng will die horribly. If he does not, I will hang upside down, spin in a full circle, and eat shit. While the internet was in an uproar, in the spacious back seat of the Silver Phantom, I sat beside Qingrou, watching her with pleading eyes. Qingrou lounged lazily in her seat, her slender fingers holding her phone. Fed up, she hung up yet another of the countless gossip calls, then simply switched off her phone. Only then did she turn to me. Her voice was casual yet cool. Go on. Did you lose your memory? Or are you confused and mistaking me for someone else? Huh. I have not mistaken you. I hurriedly shook my head. Instinctively, I reached out to hold her. Qingrou's lashes fluttered. Do not hug me. Sit properly. It took so much coaxing to make him let go of me. And now he wants to hug me again. There is no audience watching now. A hint of displeasure crossed Qingrou's delicate face. Why does he want to hug me whenever he opens his mouth? Was he like this with Momo before too? My reaching hand froze. My fingers, already touching her clothes, drew back. I looked at her with pleading eyes. Qingrou saw how pitiful I looked, as if she had abandoned me. Something is not right. There is something wrong with this sworn enemy. Qingrou pressed her lips together, suppressing the doubt in her eyes. she asked. You have not mistaken me. Then do you know who I am? I answered without hesitation. You are Qingrou. Then I softly added. You are my Qingrou. Qingrou's heartbeat immediately fell into disarray. She suddenly placed the back of her hand lightly against my forehead. Thoughtfully, she said, Your fever must have fried your brain. Her small hand was a little cold. For some reason, it reminded me of the chill of her embrace at the very end. I clenched my fists, then quietly said, I do not have a fever. Qingrou withdrew her hand. With her arms crossed, she looked at me proudly. HMPH. Go on. What scheme have you come up with to torment me this time? Qingrou suddenly thought of something. If I remember correctly, the Shi family is holding a banquet tomorrow. I heard that crazy woman Momo has already bought a ring. She will most likely propose to Shi by herself. He and Shi families also intended to cement their alliance through marriage. I was thrown out of the Shi family a month ago because Shi was kidnapped and nearly killed by his captors. All the evidence pointed to me. The Shi parents were utterly disappointed in me. They publicly announced they were cutting ties with me. My engagement to Momo was cancelled as a result. Qingrou's smile vanished. Her gaze at me became even more distant. Shicheng, you are not trying to use me to provoke Momo, are you? Before I got out of the car, I saw Chen hit Shibai. I was a little worried at that moment. Chen has always had a bad temper, but he has never caused such a scene in public before. At the time, I thought Chen had lost control because of Momo. I hurried out of the car to back him up. Who knew that would give him the chance to make trouble for me? Thinking of those two light kisses, Qingrou's eyes turned almost icy. Shicheng, for Momo. You are really willing to go all out. Should I just throw this idiot out of the car? I asked her in confusion. Who is Momo? I do not know her. Qingrou fell silent for 2 seconds. She reached forward and tapped Wen Jing's shoulder as she drove. Go to 10th Hospital. The psychiatric hospital. Wen Jing was silent for a moment. Yes, 3rd miss. Then, without hesitation, she turned the wheel and drove straight to 10th Hospital. I frowned deeply. This is bad. Qingrou might really think I have gone insane. I had already emerged from the days of being reborn. I knew, without a doubt, that I had returned. But if pretending to have amnesia would make her trust me, I could do that. I did not care about any of those people anyway. I only cared about my Qingrou. In this world, I only needed to remember her. I only needed to love her. Qingrou spoke airily beside my ear. I will give you one last chance. Tell me honestly what you are trying to do. Otherwise, once you enter 10th Hospital, do not expect to come back out. The car's interior was dim. I turned to look at her cool, distant features. Before I was burned in my previous life, I too once believed her gaze was cold, like the ice water of an eternally frozen pool. Only later did I learn that beneath that frozen pool lay boiling lava. Her love burned so fiercely it could nearly make ice water boil. My tone was calm. I said softly, I am not trying to do anything. I just want to love you. What? The forced calm in Qingrou's eyes shattered instantly. And how do you want to love me? Her red lips pressed together as she sneered. Shicheng, do you think I am stupid? Do you want me to remind you how you spoke when we ran into each other in the club lobby this morning? What exactly did you say? I was completely confused. Why was she suddenly dredging up something from so long ago? That felt like ages ago. Let me think. After thinking hard for a while, I finally remembered. I had indeed run into her in the club lobby that morning. She was leaving the elevator as I entered it. We passed each other. I said to Songyi beside me, we need some air freshener. This elevator reeks. I can barely breathe. After saying that, I had not forgotten to provoke her. HMPH. What rotten luck. At that memory, my gaze flickered. Qingrou gave a soft laugh. Look at that guilty expression. Looks like you remember now. The next second, my eyes turned clear, as if I truly remembered nothing. No, I really do not remember. What did I say to you then? Did I tell you that you are gorgeous, that I really like you, and love you very much? Qingrou suddenly wanted to wring my ear. She reached out and gave my ear a hard twist. Shicheng, do not play crazy and dumb with me. I am not falling for that act Momo used to get treated this well. I rubbed my ear. Then I asked teasingly, then what works on Qingrou? Qingrou gave a delicate huff. Nothing works on me. Before she could finish, I leaned closer to her lips. Qingrou suddenly came to her senses. She pushed me away. Her face flushed red. She said through gritted teeth. I gazed deeply into her eyes. A hint of mischief flickered in my captivating eyes. If that still is not enough. I gently slipped an arm around her waist. I asked softly, my eyes full of anticipation. Then I will let you kiss me back. All right. Wenjing, who was driving, pricked up her ears. Oh my goodness. Of course that is good. Third miss, just kiss him already. Your love life is finally blooming. Qingrou's gaze uncontrollably fell on my lips. She lightly pressed her red lips together. Let me kiss him back. The word yes was already on the tip of her tongue, but what she finally said through gritted teeth was, in your dreams. The starlight in my eyes shattered instantly. I lowered my head in disappointment. Qingrou forced down her racing heart. I cannot let a Chen fool me. Does he think he can seduce me like this? Without showing it, she leaned back, putting some distance between us. Her voice carried a hint of jealousy she did not notice herself. Who taught you all this? Momo, Shicheng. I frowned and said, I told you. I do not know Momo. Why do you keep bringing her up? Who is she? Besides, you taught me everything I know. Momo does not even like me. I was quickly wearing down Qingrou's patience. She said unhappily, Shicheng, how long are you going to keep this act up? My spirit sank. Everything I said is true. I only love you. Why will you not believe me? Why was Qingrou so hard to deal with right now? I thought that if I confessed to her, she would accept me. Had she not fallen in love with me yet? Qingrou's lively eyes studied me for several seconds. You do not know Momo. I nodded. Qingrou curled her lips and said resentfully, you only want to love me. I nodded firmly again. Yes, yes. Qingrou seemed to think of something and gave a sly laugh. Fine. It is not impossible for me to believe you, but you have to prove it to me. How do I prove it? I blinked my captivating eyes. Then I grinned. Does Qingrou think being close is not enough? Do you want to spend more time alone with me? The steering wheel nearly slipped from Wenjing's hands. This young master of the Shi family is something else. My third miss is so innocent. Can she handle him? Sure enough, Qingrou's little face was redder than my earlobes. Fortunately, she managed to keep a calm face. She called my name through gritted teeth. Shicheng. I looked at her innocently. Qingrou suppressed the urge to throw me out of the car. She lightly poked my forehead with a fingertip. Get those ridiculous ideas out of your head. Every last one of them. Only then did I reluctantly open my mouth. Qingrou took a deep breath to steady herself. Then she instructed Wenjing. Head back to Shicheng Hotel. Shicheng Hotel belonged to the Qi family. It was also hosting today's awards ceremony. After the ceremony, the hotel would hold a celebration banquet. Qingrou had agreed to attend the awards gala today, because the Qi family was hosting it. Of course, the main reason was that she knew I would be there. I only went to Shicheng because I was afraid Chen would be bullied. No good deed goes unpunished. That bastard does not deserve my kindness. Qingrou glared at me, grinding her teeth. Wenjing respectfully turned the car around. I asked in confusion, what are we going back for? Qingrou leaned back in her seat, returning to the languid pose she had when she first got in. But there was a trace of mockery in her voice. Of course. To give you a chance to prove yourself, and prove how sincere your feelings really are. I frowned slightly. I still remembered my past life. It was at the celebration banquet at Shicheng Hotel. That someone set me up. When I woke up, Qingrou was beside me, and the room bore the aftermath of a wild night. I was utterly devastated then. My first reaction was to drive Qingrou away. She calmly said she would marry me. I coldly told her to leave. If I remembered correctly, that drugged glass of wine had been handed to me by Momo herself. In the dim light, I looked at Qingrou. Her eyes were closed as she pretended to sleep. Her delicate little face was especially captivating. Momo had influenced me before. I had always thought Qingrou was pretentious and hard to approach. Only later did I understand. It was not that I did not want to get close to her. I was simply afraid to. By the time we returned to Shicheng, the award ceremony was still underway. Those who could not be bothered to watch it had gathered in the banquet hall for the celebration. Plenty of wealthy young heirs and heiresses had come for the spectacle, but the atmosphere felt off. Everyone kept glancing, deliberately or not, toward Momo. After all, the lapdog who had chased her since childhood had run off with her sworn rival, and that rival was Qingrou, who outshone her in every way. So the spoiled heirs did not dare fool around. They were terrified of upsetting Momo. Momo was indeed furious. She reclined in an armchair, irritably scrolling through her phone. The video of me kissing Qingrou was trending online. She watched it over and over. The more she watched, the more she wanted to kill me. She tossed her phone aside. Then she coldly told the person beside her, "Have those trending posts taken down." The person beside her was her best friend, Shicheng. She was also looking at the trending post. Hearing that, Shicheng was surprised. "Why take them down? Do you not want people criticizing Shicheng anymore?" Momo shot her a glare. "What do I gain from watching him get attacked?" Shicheng clicked her tongue. "It does not benefit you. But it benefits Shiyibai. The worse Shicheng's reputation gets, the better Shiyibai's will become. Since you like Shiyibai, why do you still care about Shicheng?" Momo looked even more displeased at that. "Are you serious?" "What?" Shicheng froze for a moment. "When did I ever say I like Shiyibai?" Shicheng was completely baffled. "Momo, what do you mean? Are you saying you like Shicheng?" Momo said nothing, but her silence was answer enough. Shicheng quickly lowered her voice and asked, "Momo, you've been so close to Shiyibai all these years, and you've never been nice to Shicheng. Ask any of the girls around you. Who doesn't think you like Shiyibai? Everyone already thinks Shiyibai is your boyfriend, okay? And now you say you like Shicheng." She could not help blurting out, "Have you lost your mind?" Momo shot her a sideways glance. "What do you know?" She frowned. "It's because Shicheng has such a terrible temper. I only did all this to make Shicheng understand. Just because he's the eldest son of the Shi family doesn't mean he can throw tantrums in front of me." Momo took a small sip of red wine. "He needs to know his place and learn to please me. Besides, the Shi family has thrown him out. In the end, he'll have no one but me. By then, will he still dare give me attitude? So I'm only teaching him a lesson." Shicheng was dumbfounded. "So for all these years, you've been warm to Shiyibai and cold to Shicheng, all to teach him a lesson, just to make him more obedient. What an unbelievably awful woman." She was so stunned she almost rolled her eyes. "But aren't you forcing Shiyibai into marriage tomorrow?" Momo replied unhurriedly, "My husband will only ever be Shicheng." Shicheng was truly speechless. After a moment, she reminded Momo, "But he doesn't seem to have come back for you. He went to Qingrou instead." Momo toyed with the glass beside her. "Don't let it backfire on you and end up training someone else's husband. That just means I haven't trained him properly yet. He's still not obedient enough. He probably heard I was proposing to Shiyibai tomorrow, so he beat up Shiyibai, then went looking for Qingrou. He thinks that will make me change my mind." She scoffed. "Doesn't Shicheng realize that Qingrou knows he's been my lapdog? Would she even give him the time of day? He's making a fool of himself." Momo took a sip of wine, then said carelessly, "Don't worry. It won't be long before he comes crawling back begging me." Only seconds after she finished speaking, the banquet hall's heavy doors slowly opened. Everyone in the hall looked over, their expressions briefly freezing. A woman radiating authority entered, calm and unhurried. Then everyone saw me walking in beside her. Momo abruptly sat upright. Qingrou smiled at Momo. Then she interlaced her fingers with mine. We sat on an empty sofa. Whether Qingrou meant to or not, we ended up directly facing Momo's group. A dozen yards lay between us. The banquet hall fell silent. Momo spoke in a sweet, reproachful tone. "Chen, come here now." Qingrou smiled beautifully. She lazily leaned against the sofa and gently asked, "Do you want to go over there?" As she spoke, she played with my hand. I shook my head. I said in confusion, "I don't know her." "I'm not going." Everyone heard that, including Momo. Momo puffed out her cheeks. "Shicheng, I'm giving you one more chance. Get over here." A mischievous glint flashed in Qingrou's eyes. She pursed her lips and leaned close to my ear. "Didn't you want to prove you love me?" Her warm breath made my heart pound. She gave a soft hum. "So, Do you dare? Right in front of Momo. Kiss me. The moment she said it, my eyes lit up. Qingrou suddenly had a bad feeling. Sure enough, the next second, I kissed her without hesitation. Sharp gasps erupted around us. The banquet hall fell even quieter. How dare he? How many times has he done this today? Even if he really wants to provoke Momo, isn't he afraid of going too far? What if he completely enrages Momo? A woman scoffed nearby. Qingrou abruptly snapped back to her senses. What is Miss He planning to do? Qingrou glanced over from the corner of her eye. Momo had already stood up. She was probably trying to come over. But another woman had stopped her. The woman blocking Momo was Qingrou's friend, Wanwan. When Qingrou entered, she and her friends had wanted to come over. But when they saw me following behind her, they decided to wait and see. I saw all the trending posts. I only regret not seeing that drama in person. Who knew I would get to see it live here? Heh. Even as Wanwan stared in shock, she kept an eye on Momo. Sure enough, without a second thought, Wanwan stepped directly in Momo's way. No way. This is a big moment for my Qingrou. How could I let that crazy woman, Momo, ruin it? Absolutely not. A mocking curve lifted at Momo's lips. Move. Wanwan snorted coldly. You think I'll move just because you said so? Do I not have any pride? Momo said indignantly. I'll say it one more time. Move. Wanwan shrugged. A mischievous grin covered her face. I won't. What are you going to do about it? A derisive snort. Momo's brows drew together tightly. She raised a hand and pointed at Wanwan's face. You. Wanwan took a step back. Stop pointing your finger at me. I hate it when people point at me. The atmosphere instantly turned tense. No one else dared breathe too loudly. Only then did I understand. This was what Qingrou meant by proof. She did not believe I loved her. She still thought I was using her. She thought I would not dare kiss her in front of Momo. Heh, didn't see that coming, did you? I relished it. Qingrou watched the scene, then spoke softly. Enough. The room instantly fell silent. More than a dozen people looked toward Qingrou. Anger laced Qingrou's soft voice. Don't make a mess of my place. Everyone else felt as if they had been doused with cold water. After all, this was the Qi family's territory. Starting trouble here would have endless consequences. Someone looked to Momo, silently asking what to do next. Momo stared at me intently. Chen suddenly had an idea and called to me. Shicheng, can't you see someone is bullying Momo? Get over here and help her. Everyone turned to look at me again, Qingrou included. Enough? Do you really want to put on a show in front of all these people? I lowered my head, pretending I had not heard Chen. Qingrou pressed her lips together. Was I too harsh just now? Momo had finally reached her limit. From the moment Chen entered the banquet hall, he had not even spared me a single glance. He was not like this before. Whenever I was around, his eyes would always follow me. Panic suddenly rose in her heart. It felt as though something was slipping out of her control. Momo spoke through clenched teeth. Shicheng, you've made enough of a scene. Come here. I can let today's matter slide. Hearing her tone, as though she were granting me a favor, I looked up at her. It was the first time I had looked at her all evening. After 2 seconds, I stood and walked toward Momo. The displeasure in Momo's eyes faded. A hint of smugness appeared. I knew it. Shicheng really is trying to make me jealous and provoke me. The others exchanged looks. No one said a word. They instinctively made a path as I approached. Wanwan hesitated for a moment. I can stop Momo. But I have no reason to stop Shicheng. She rolled her eyes at Momo, then shook her head helplessly. She stepped aside. That man's taste is awful. How is Qingrou inferior to that little brat from the He family? Qingrou puffed out her cheeks slightly. Her lips pressed tightly together. She looked away, refusing to watch. Her toe tapped lightly against the floor, restraining the urge to pull me back. I say one harsh word to you, and you give me attitude. But she is so nasty to you, and you still rush over to her. HMPH, you big idiot. After all these years, I should be used to it. It was only because of Chen's act today was too convincing that it left me a little dazed. I actually felt a flicker of happiness, thinking Chen was finally willing to see me. Forget it. I'll consider this the last time I help him. Qingrou rose dejectedly. She did not look at me again, and turned toward the exit. She had only taken 2 steps, when a chorus of gasps rose behind her, accompanied by Momo's disbelieving roar. Shicheng. Qingrou turned around, and saw Momo pointing at me. She asked in disbelief, "Say that again." "Even if I say it 100 times, I still do not like you. You are not good enough for me." I turned to Qingrou with a bright smile and asked, "Is that Momo?" I told her, "She is not good enough for me." I told her to stop causing trouble for no reason. "Is that okay, Qingrou?" Qingrou's heart gave a violent jolt. Could Chen really have lost his memory? When she did not respond, my eyes darted around, and an idea came to me. Feigning pain, I held a hand out to her. "I think my leg is cramping. Qingrou, come help me." The banquet hall was deathly quiet. Qingrou silently watched me for several seconds. Then, under everyone's gaze, she walked toward me. She stopped before me. Without saying a word, she placed my arm over her shoulder and supported me. I looked at her with starry eyes, smiling brilliantly. Momo looked up through clenched teeth. She glared fiercely at us. "Qingrou, where are you taking Chen? He is mine." "You." I had a terrible feeling. If I let Qingrou take Chen away, I will truly lose him. Qingrou merely tilted her head at her. The chill in her eyes spread, yet a pleased smile curved her lips. "From now on, he is mine." Chen chose to come to me. So, whether he has amnesia or is using me, he has no room for regret. Qingrou smiled like a blooming flower. Supporting me as I willingly came to her, she led me straight out. She took me straight out of the hall. Qingrou still took me to the hospital. I don't mean anything by it. I just wanted to see whether Chen really had something wrong with his head. After getting in the car, I could not resist leaning toward her. Qingrou simply said coldly, "Sit properly." My mouth twitched. "Qingrou, do you not like it when I hold you? You are so cold to me now, Qingrou." "Bad woman." Qingrou leaned back in her seat and asked lightly, "Were you this clingy with Momo before? Like you had no bones? Always leaning all over people." I frowned deeply and muttered under my breath, "Why do you keep bringing her up?" Qingrou turned to look out the window and could not be bothered to speak again. Did I want to bring up Momo? "How many years have you loved Momo? Have you really forgotten?" At the hospital, Qingrou arranged a full examination for me, including a psychiatric evaluation. I was speechless. If the tests could put Qingrou's mind at ease, then I would take them. The other tests were fine. But when it came time for the psychiatric assessment, I had to answer many questions. No matter what the doctor asked, I said I did not know. Only when he asked about Qingrou did my eyes light up. After the assessment, the doctor looked conflicted. In the end, he wrote 3 Chinese characters on the report and handed it to Qingrou, who was waiting outside. With a rather strange smile, he placed the report in Qingrou's hand. "Do not worry. His mind is perfectly sound. There is nothing seriously wrong. Just this little issue." I followed behind the doctor, so the doctor knew Qingrou too. The doctor looked back at me and smiled. Then he turned to Qingrou and said, "I have work to do. I will leave you to it." I hurriedly thanked him. "Thank you." Only after I watched him return to his office did I walk over to Qingrou. I looked at her innocently and asked, "What did the doctor say?" Qingrou glanced at the report and handed it to me with a complicated expression. "Read it yourself." I took it and immediately saw the diagnosis at the bottom. No organic physical or psychiatric disorder detected. Emotions affected by romantic troubles. Mental faculties normal. I was a little confused. What does that mean? Qingrou sighed. "It means you are hopelessly lovesick." I nodded, looking utterly delighted. This doctor really knows his stuff. Qingrou read through the report, her feelings a tangled mess. There really was nothing physically wrong with him. If he was deliberately pretending to get close to me, what exactly was Chen's goal? If it was not because of Momo, what else could make Chen throw caution to the wind and willingly approach someone he once loathed, like me? But if he was not pretending, could someone truly change so suddenly in a single day? Qingrou could not resist feeling around my head twice. There was no bump. She cautiously asked me, "When you got into the elevator this morning, did the doors catch your head?" I looked at her, utterly speechless. You could make your sarcasm a little more obvious. A little helplessly, I asked her, why can you not believe that I truly like you? Qingrou withdrew her hand and met my gaze. What do you think? If you were me, would you believe it? Fair enough. I once did not believe Qingrou truly liked me. Until that fire? I spoke solemnly. The truth is, I have always liked you. I did not suddenly fall for you today. Always? Qingrou's lashes trembled faintly. She seemed puzzled by what I meant by always. I answered earnestly. I was just too afraid to get close to you before. You are so wonderful. And you always seemed distant with me. I always felt I was not good enough for you. My voice carried a note of disappointment. Qingrou frowned. She was both angry and amused. Shicheng, do not turn this around on me. You were the one who was always cold to me. I began to argue my case. That was because my love was unrequited. Love turned into resentment. Qingrou gritted her teeth harder. Your sweet talk will not work. Do not try to change the subject. My mouth twitched. Come on. Can you not let me have this once? I am trying to confess to you seriously here. Qingrou fell silent for a moment. She pushed down her irritation, then turned and walked away. I stood still, watching her retreating back. When she showed no sign of stopping, I called out to her. Qingrou. Qingrou stopped and turned to look at me. I blinked. My voice softened. Qingrou. My leg hurts. Qingrou immediately knew I was trying to play helpless again. She gave a soft snort. Then do not move. Go if you want. I do not care. With that, she turned and left. I stayed right where I was. I did not say another word. Qingrou was almost at the elevator. She closed her eyes briefly. Then she turned back without hesitation and walked back to me. Gritting her teeth, she whispered in my ear. Shicheng, I must have owed you in a past life. I chuckled. I draped an arm over her shoulder, leaned over and gave her cheek a light kiss. Then I softly said, no, I am the one who owes you. My Qingrou. Some of Qingrou's irritation faded. She snorted coldly. You owe me. Then should you not be carrying me? Have you ever seen a debtor acting high and mighty before their creditor? I answered her very seriously. Normally, it is not easy for creditors to collect a debt. The bigger the debt, the harder it is to collect. So a creditor must coddle the debtor and stay by their side, so they can slowly collect what they are owed. Qingrou gave a quiet snort. You certainly have a lot of twisted logic. I leaned close to her ear again and whispered, my debt to you is enormous. So, you have to stay with me for the rest of our lives. That way, I will have a lifetime to slowly repay what I owe you, my Qingrou. All right, a lifetime. We stepped into the elevator. She raised her eyes and stared intently at me. Shicheng, do you know what a lifetime means? Of course I do. I gazed deeply into her eyes. I answered word by word. A lifetime means never leaving each other and growing old together. Qingrou and I now lived in the same apartment building. She lived upstairs, and I lived below. After I was thrown out by the Shi family, I had nowhere to go. Songyi rented an apartment from me. Only later did I learn that the building actually belonged to Qingrou. She had secretly arranged for it to be rented to Songyi at a low price. Qingrou walked me home. Can I really not stay at your place? Qingrou gave me one look. Have some self-control. Only then did I murmur, oh. I headed home, looking back every few steps. Qingrou watched from the elevator with a look of disgust. Reluctantly, I went inside. Once she made sure I had shut the door, the disdain on Qingrou's face instantly became delight. The corners of her lips lifted, then she forced them back down. What a thrilling night. Her emotions had been all over the place. Even now, Chen's words in the hospital elevator, never leave each other and grow old together, still echoed in her ears. But it still did not feel real. Could she be dreaming? I had no idea that my actions and words had suddenly unleashed the love she had suppressed for years. God knew how much restraint she had needed to resist the urge to bring a Chen home with her. Qingrou took one last look at my tightly shut door. Then she turned and went upstairs. She went into the bathroom to wash up. A sharp pain suddenly shot through the back of Qingrou's hand. She cried out in surprise. The rinsing cup fell from her hand. She raised her hand to look. There was not a mark on her skin. Yet the pain remained. Qingrou turned off the faucet. Then she left the bathroom. She sat on the sofa, raising her hand to examine its back. The pain was slowly fading. Qingrou leaned back against the sofa and closed her eyes. Just then, the doorbell rang. She opened her eyes. At a glance, she saw that smug, infuriating face on the video doorbell. Qingrou sighed helplessly. Can a Chen not let me rest for even a moment? Then she gave a self-mocking smile. Forget it. Was she not hoping he would come to? Qingrou walked over and opened the door. She said helplessly, Shicheng, do you know what time it is? Seeing that I was still wearing the same clothes, she thought, what had he even been doing all that time at home? I stood at the door, holding out my hand to her pitifully. Qingrou. Maoqiu scratched my hand. The scratch on my hand was especially noticeable. Qingrou stared fixedly at my wound. For an instant, her heart seemed to stop. Was this not exactly where she had felt pain earlier? Could it be such a coincidence? Coming back to herself, she asked me, did you treat it? I shook my head. I do not know how. Qingrou frowned. You have a cat. Yet you do not know how to treat a wound. That is right. Maoqiu is my cat. I have had him for years. When I left the Shi family, he was the only one I took with me. I answered as though it were obvious. But I have never been scratched by a cat before. Is it not normal that I would not know? Qingrou could not be bothered to argue with me. She grabbed my wrist and led me inside. A flicker of amusement passed through my eyes. Qingrou suddenly looked back. I blinked, and instantly looked pitiful again. What is it? HMPH. His acting really is good. Qingrou scoffed inwardly. She pulled me into the kitchen, turned on the faucet, held my hand beneath the running water, and let clean water rinse my wound. I flinched slightly as the wound stung. Qingrou held my hand, and suddenly trembled. For no reason, she had a bad feeling. Because at that very moment, she felt a faint pain on the back of her own hand too. She stared intently at my wound. The scratch was not deep. It had barely broken the skin, with just a faint trace of blood. She took a slow breath and pushed down the strange thought. Qingrou said, I will have someone come over later to give you a rabies shot. I nodded. We were standing very close. I lowered my gaze and saw her little face, brows drawn tight. I looked down at her furrowed brows and eyes. Something stirred in my heart. Qingrou grew uncomfortable under my gaze. She casually adjusted her clothes. I glanced at her. Stingy. Qingrou was silent for a moment. Then she asked curiously, why did your cat scratch you? He had kept that cat for years. Why would it suddenly scratch him? And it was a male cat I had personally had neutered. I muttered. I do not know. I think my apartment might be haunted. Qingrou was speechless. Chen was getting more and more ridiculous. He could make up any excuse. But I kept going. I looked at her with complete seriousness. Maybe it saw something. And that is why it went crazy. Qingrou, I really do not dare go back now. It is so vicious now. The moment it sees me, it goes berserk. I really was feeling a little guilty. It felt like Maoqiu could tell something was wrong with me. Qingrou silently listened to my nonsense. So, I looked at her hopefully. So, can I stay here for the night? Qingrou leaned closer and looked at me. Shicheng, how am I only now discovering that you have such thick skin? I swore solemnly. Everything I said is true. If you do not believe me, you can come downstairs and see for yourself. Qingrou looked at me for a few seconds. Then she recalled that strange pain. She nodded. All right. With that, she headed into the living room. That should be rinsed enough. Dry your hand first. I will disinfect it. She took out the first aid kit. Holding my hand, she dabbed a cotton swab in povidone iodine and applied it to the wound. The instant it touched my skin, my hand stung sharply. Qingrou tightened her grip on the cotton swab. The feeling of sharing my pain was becoming clearer and clearer. She looked up at me. Does it hurt? I nodded and said, just a little. Of course, Qingrou knew it was only a little. She took a deep breath and threw away the cotton swab. Come on, let us go look at your place. When we got downstairs, the moment the door opened, I hid behind Qingrou. Qingrou turned back to look at me helplessly. This is your home. Why are you hiding? My expression was complicated. It really is vicious. When I came home earlier, Maoqiu was sleeping curled up on the sofa, a fluffy little ball. I sat beside him and stared at him blankly for a while. My fingers gently stroked his fluffy head. I had not seen him in such a long time. in the fire from my previous life. Maoqiu had not escaped. Then he suddenly woke up. First, he rubbed his head against my palm. But just as he was about to jump onto me, his round eyes flew wide open. Almost instantly, his fur bristled and he went wild. I did not have time to pull back my hand, and he scratched me. I hurriedly stood and backed away. Maoqiu arched his back. He glared at me viciously. He looked ready to pounce on me. On instinct, I ran upstairs, straight to Qingrou's place. Now, as the door opened, the lights inside were still on. Seeing that I did not seem to be lying, Qingrou walked ahead into the living room. The moment she entered, she saw the long-haired cat in the living room. He was spinning in circles on the floor. Qingrou turned around, staring at me in disbelief. "This is the vicious cat you were talking about." I was just about to speak when Maoqiu heard us and looked over. The cat, who had been happily playing only moments ago, instantly bristled again. He arched his back, bared his teeth, and was about to pounce on me. I instinctively grabbed Qingrou's hand. I reflexively stepped in front of her. I said helplessly, "See, this is what I mean." Maoqiu made as if to charge at me. Qingrou pulled me aside. She commanded coldly, "Maoqiu, stop." I held tightly onto Qingrou's hand. "It is a cat. Can it understand you? We should get out of here. Tomorrow, I will have someone take it to the vet." Just then, Maoqiu looked at Qingrou. He was clearly stunned for a moment. Then the ferocity in his eyes vanished. His bristled fur smoothed down at once. It was as if he had found a long-lost family member. He rubbed against Qingrou's leg, meowing softly, acting sweet and clingy. Maoqiu's behavior reminded Qingrou a little of me. She laughed softly. Her voice softened. "I think he listens better than you do." Exasperated, I grumbled, "Maoqiu, you ungrateful little traitor. I raised you from a kitten, cleaning up every mess along the way. How could you do this to me?" Qingrou smiled. "All right, let go of me first." But I kept hold of her little hand. Qingrou turned to look at me. I leaned close to her and lightly kissed her cheek. Then I pulled my hand away. A flicker of dissatisfaction crossed Qingrou's heart. That idiot of Chen stole another kiss. Qingrou bent down and picked up the cat rubbing against her leg. She sat on the sofa, placing the cat on her lap. Her fingers stroked Maoqiu's head, as she lowered her eyes to check him carefully for anything wrong. Maoqiu was very docile in her arms, lying quietly as she petted and examined him. Watching the now docile Maoqiu from the side, I started toward them. But when I got within 3 steps, Maoqiu suddenly lifted his head and bared his teeth at me. I froze. Qingrou frowned. She lightly tapped Maoqiu on the head. "Who are you being mean to?" Maoqiu meowed again, then flopped down as though deflated. But his eyes remained fixed on me, still far from friendly. Qingrou looked up at me, standing a short distance away. My face was full of dejection. Qingrou's fingers curled slightly. I checked him. "There is nothing wrong with him," I said dejectedly. "Then why is he so hostile toward me? It is like he does not even recognize his owner anymore." Qingrou lowered her gaze. Maybe the cat was not the problem. Maybe the problem was the man standing before her. Qingrou was not superstitious, but she had heard that cats were extremely sensitive animals. What had Chen done to make him so uneasy? Or rather, was the man before her really the Chen she knew? The thought made her heart race. Qingrou dropped the cat from her lap onto the floor. She lightly patted his backside, telling him to play somewhere else. Maoqiu would not leave. He jumped back onto the sofa, curling up beside her. Qingrou did not stop him. She looked up at me. "Shicheng." She held out her hand to me. "Come here." I took 2 steps forward and took her hand. Following her pull, I sat beside her. Qingrou leaned a little closer to me. My eyes widened slightly, confused. "Qingrou." This was the first time she had taken the initiative to come close to me today. Her fingertip lightly tapped my chin, signaling me to look at her. There was a hint of shyness in Qingrou's voice. "Do not move. Let me look at you." Their faces were incredibly close, close enough to see ourselves reflected in each other's pupils. I asked, confused, "What are you looking at?" Qingrou's small hand gently caressed my face. She looked at her reflection in my clear eyes. At that moment, she was certain. The man sitting beside her really was a Chen. She looked at me, her cheeks slightly flushed. "A Chen? There is no one else here now." I did not understand what she was implying. "And?" Qingrou slowly moved closer. Her voice was slightly husky as she asked, Do you still want to kiss? Her breath was sweet and fresh. Her lips were so close as she spoke. They nearly touched mine. My breath caught. I could clearly see the concern and sincerity in her eyes. I knew that look well. She had looked at me that way in my past life too. After that day, the related videos were made public, just as everyone was speculating about my relationship with Qingrou. Someone revealed that Qingrou and the second young master of the Su family in Jing City were about to get engaged. The two families had agreed on it before the new year. Su Mu, the second young master of the Su family, even made a social media post. He made a pointed post, "Those who do evil bring ruin upon themselves." Everyone knew he was talking about me. For a time, public opinion turned viciously against me, even though the trending topic was quickly removed. And Su Mu deleted his post and apologized. Qingrou personally posted a clarification. She said she was the one pursuing me. She had no relationship with Su Mu. But by then, almost no one was willing to believe her. I was surrounded by public condemnation, under enormous pressure. Even the Shi family parents treated me coldly. And Momo was even worse. Her eyes held nothing but distance and rejection when she looked at me. I was in agony during that time, with nowhere to put all that pain. I could only pour it all out on Qingrou. She looked at me just like this back then, but I mistook that concern for malice. Only much later did I understand. The determination and tenderness in her eyes were feelings she had suppressed for years. She had liked me for a very, very long time. Seeing me suddenly space out, Qingrou gently pressed her lips together and asked, "You do not want to kiss anymore?" I came back to my senses. Instinctively, I wrapped both arms around her. "That is not it." "Then, will you kiss me?" Unconscious shyness colored her voice. "I'll let you kiss me, Chen." Her words made my ears burn. But, in that instant, I suddenly remembered something from my past life. I knew I had to clear this up first. I reached out and gently pushed her away. When she looked at me with slight embarrassment and annoyance, I asked her directly, "Are you going to get engaged to Su Mu?" Qingrou froze. "Su Mu? Who is that?" I looked at her helplessly. She had actually explained it to me last time. She had nothing to do with Su Mu. Their families had indeed arranged for them to meet once. She had clearly rejected him then. But Qingrou and I had trended online today. Everyone was now guessing what our relationship was, although no one had set me up this time. If events followed the course of my past life, then tomorrow news of Qingrou and Su Mu's engagement would shoot to the top of the trending topics. Su Mu would make another post as well. So this time, I had to deal with it in advance. I could not wait for public outrage to grow before trying to fix it. People these days, most people are unwilling to believe a clarification made after the fact. I shot her a look and reminded her. Su Mu, the second young master of the Su family, returned from abroad before the new year. Did you not go on a blind date with him? And you say you do not know him. Speaking of Qingrou's blind date with Su Mu, I happened to run into them. At the time, Qingrou and Su Mu walked out of the restaurant's private room side by side. From afar, I glared at Qingrou. I even muttered to myself, how do I run into her everywhere I go? And she is with some handsome guy. It really bothered me. Only now did I realize I had been jealous. So, she had been on a blind date then. And now she was pretending not to know who he was. I immediately tried to pull away from her. Qingrou said gently, "Be good, Chen." Then, as if suddenly remembering, she said, "Oh, you mean second Su?" That made me even more jealous. You call him quite affectionately. You call him second Su, but you call me by my full name. Qingrou said helplessly. Everyone calls him that. I did not even know his name. What else was I supposed to call him? Su Mu went abroad as a child. He had only been back for a few months. He was not familiar with the young heirs of Jing City's elite families. I had only met Su Mu once. I really did not remember his name. I only knew everyone called him second Su. As she spoke, Qingrou rubbed her little face against my chest. Her voice held a smile. Besides, if calling him second Su is intimate, would you rather I call you first Shi from now on? She left me speechless. First Shi really does not sound good. Fine. I would not dwell on that. I asked her uncertainly. So, what did you say when you met him for that blind date? Qingrou pouted. Does meeting once count as a blind date? I sighed. My grandmother did ask me to meet him once. But before I went to the restaurant, I did not know I was meeting him. Once I got there, I rejected him outright. That was more or less what she had told me in my past life. I frowned slightly. What about your family? Of course they respect my wishes. The Qi family does not need a marriage alliance in the first place. Naturally, my parents put my wishes first. Besides, my grandmother arranged it. My grandmother and Su Mu's grandmother were close friends in their youth. They later grew apart, but Su Mu, his grandmother, brought it up herself. My grandmother asked me to meet him as a favor to her. It was not an intentional marriage alliance at all. I fell into thought. So they really had no relationship at all. I breathed a sigh of relief. I just had to prevent Su Mu from making that post. But how? Qingrou looked at me, slightly puzzled. Why does a Chen seem stranger and stranger? Although I am sure he is a Chen, something still feels off. She tilted her head and glanced at Furball, still curled up beside her. Its gaze at me had never been friendly. Qingrou looked at me with a pout. That was so long ago. You even glared at me then. Did you think I did not notice? Why are you suddenly bringing this up now? Her little face was clouded with displeasure. Are you trying to reject me? Is that why you came up with such a lousy excuse to brush me off? Shicheng, can you not keep this act up anymore? I looked at her, softening my voice. I was not pretending. Then prove it to me. Qingrou moved closer. Come a little closer, Chen. Chen does not want to kiss me. So I can just kiss him instead. I do not want to hold back anymore. He came closer on his own, anyway. Just as I was about to say something, Qingrou slowly leaned toward me. The tip of her nose nearly brushed my cheek. My heart stirred. The tenderness she showed now was nothing like her forcefulness in my past life. In my past life, she had hardly ever been this gently intimate. The cat that had been curled up beside Qingrou suddenly became restless again. It rubbed and clawed at Qingrou's leg. Qingrou turned to the troublesome cat beside her. I looked at it too, but the moment our eyes met, it instantly turned vicious. Qingrou softly scolded it, displeasure written all over her face. Furball. The cat let out a meow. It sounded pitiful. I felt uneasy. I said to her, Qingrou, I do not want to stay here anymore. Qingrou noticed something was wrong with me. She took my hand and started to leave. Seeing us about to leave, the cat lightly jumped to the floor to follow, but one look from Qingrou stopped it. It meowed and lay back down. It looked at me pitifully. It truly was my cat. That look was especially like mine. Qingrou ignored it. As the door closed, I looked back at the cat in the living room. Furball rejected me so strongly, and even stopped Qingrou from being intimate with me. Was it because Furball could sense that I was different from before? Qingrou led me back to her apartment. I was still muttering in her ear. See, I told you it was vicious. Qingrou looked at me and said, Then what are we supposed to do? Give Furball up. As she spoke, she headed toward the kitchen. I frowned at that. I had raised Furball for whole years. It was a birthday gift from someone. Back then, I did not know who sent it. The card left at the door read, Happy birthday. I asked everyone I knew, but no one knew who had sent it. My friends even laughed at the person who gave me the gift. They could not believe someone had given me such an ordinary-looking cat. They had all forgotten that I had loved cats since childhood. The one I had as a child was sent away after Shi Yibai came to the Shi family because he was allergic to cat fur. Now I knew Furball had been a gift from Qingrou. I could not bear to give it up. But given the situation now, perhaps I really should not keep it anymore. I watched Qingrou's back as she poured water. My eyes lit up. How about this? I will live here with you from now on. Songyi can stay downstairs and help me look after Furball. When Furball stops rejecting me, I will move back. Qingrou turned around with a glass of water. She looked at me with a sly smile. Why not just send the cat to Songyi's place? I spouted nonsense with a perfectly serious face. Furball is attached to this place. If it moves somewhere else, it will not eat or sleep well. It will get sick. Qingrou's lips curved faintly. She handed me the glass. So you are not attached to a place? I took the glass and had a sip. I am not attached to a place. I am only attached to a person. I smiled brightly. As long as you are there, I can eat well and sleep well. I will be good as gold. Qingrou's voice was gentle and sweet. Shicheng. Our eyes met. Qingrou placed her fair little hand on my ear and gave it a tug. It is like you have become a different person. It sounded like a joke. But my gaze suddenly flickered. Even the hand holding the glass trembled instinctively. I forced myself to stay calm. What are you talking about? You have quite an imagination. For some reason, panic rose in my heart. I do not care. I am living here with you. If you try to send me away, I will sleep outside your door. With that, I turned to head back to the living room. I was afraid she would notice something. If she found out that I was different from before, would she, like Furball, begin to pull away from me? But as I turned, she wrapped her arms around my waist. Before I could react, she pressed her forehead to mine. No one knew. This was a scene she had never dared dream of before. Chen had always kept his distance from me. His eyes had only ever been for Momo. Whenever I saw Chen happily following Momo around, I wanted to ask what he even liked about Momo. I was no less than her. No, actually, I had asked him. When Momo rejected him again, I asked him teasingly, "What do you even like about Momo? You would be better off liking me. I am no worse than Momo." But he said, "I do not feel that way about you." For all those years, Qingrou often thought, if a Chen gave me even 1/10,000th of the tenderness he showed Momo, I would feel so happy. But now, it was as if a beautiful dream had suddenly come true. A Chen was standing before me, telling me he loved me, saying he wanted to spend his life with me, saying he wanted to come closer to me. But only seconds later, a sound suddenly came from the door. Someone was coming in. Before we saw who it was, we heard her voice. "Qingrou, what happened so late at night? Why did you call me over so late to give you a rabies shot?" The voice abruptly stopped, followed by, "Oh my." The instant I heard her, I wrapped an arm around Qingrou and hurried her into the kitchen. Wanwan stood in the entryway, watching two living people vanish before her eyes. She had seen it clearly. What had Qingrou been doing just now? Oh, this is different from that little cuddle in the banquet hall. Who would have thought? I cannot believe I got a front row seat to Qingrou's romance. Just then, Qingrou came out. She rolled her eyes at Wanwan. Wanwan gave her a knowing smile. "Haha, I did not see a thing. Carry on. Pretend I was never here." With that, she happily turned to leave, thoughtfully closing the door behind her. Wanwan leaned against the door and let out a breath. This is so exciting. The elevator chimed. Liang Shengsheng emerged carrying a medical case. She immediately spotted Wanwan and asked in confusion, "What are you doing standing here?" Then she glanced at the door behind her. "Does Qingrou really have a dog at home?" Wanwan thought for a moment, then nodded. She said meaningfully, "There is more than a dog. There is a cat too. They are fighting right now. Do not rush. We will go in after they are done." Liang Shengsheng's eyes widened. Inside, I walked out of the kitchen. Still want to continue? I was utterly speechless. "You can still keep going." Qingrou's eyes crinkled with amusement. "Now you are embarrassed? Earlier, in front of all those people, you did not seem shy at all. How is that the same? Back then, we were out in the open. Now we are alone at home and got caught. Do you not find that embarrassing?" Qingrou truly could not understand my train of thought. She simply found it amusing. She took my hand and gave it a little shake. "Are we not being close openly now? Or are we sneaking around?" I whispered with absolute conviction. "I think we really are sneaking around." Qingrou laughed in exasperation at my logic. "So, Chen, you do not want to make us public." As she spoke, the light in her eyes dimmed. Chen truly still did not intend to acknowledge our relationship publicly. He was still just acting to deceive me. But I shook my head. "No, not me. You." After all, whenever I want to be openly affectionate with her, she always puts on a reserved act and pushes me away. Yet in private, she is very proactive. Does that not mean you do not want to go public? I turned to look at her. "See, whenever we are out, you will not even let me get close. Count it yourself. How many times did you reject me in public today?" Qingrou had not expected me to turn the tables on her like this. "This morning, you looked impatient the moment you saw me. Then tonight, you suddenly came to me on your own. Would I dare take the initiative with you?" Qingrou actually laughed in anger. She immediately looped her arm through mine. Tilting up her little face, she looked straight at me. "You mean, I should call them in now and continue what we were doing in front of them?" "Fine." Before I could say anything, Qingrou nodded. With that, she released me. I froze for a moment. When I turned around, she had already reached the living room. She did not really believe I would continue this in front of Song Wanwan, but I did not stop her from opening the door. After all, leaving them outside was rather rude. I picked up the water from before and drained it. Qingrou had already opened the door. Come in. Liang Shangsheng was clearly still confused. She had not figured out what Song Wanwan's cryptic talk about cats and dogs meant. She glanced at Song Wanwan, whose expression was strange, then poked her head in curiously, medical case in hand. Then she looked at Qingrou. Wanwan said your cat and dog are fighting. When did you get them? Then she spotted me in the living room. Only then did she realize what Song Wanwan had meant. Song Wanwan, still outside, finally laughed. Then she followed her inside. This time, when she saw me, her smile was especially radiant. Hello, brother-in-law. The three of us all looked at Song Wanwan at once. Liang Shangsheng stared at her in disbelief. Her eyes asked, "You are already calling him brother-in-law?" Song Wanwan met her gaze. What do you know? Qingrou is clearly serious about him. Song Wanwan won that silent exchange decisively. Liang Shangsheng obediently followed suit. Hello, brother-in-law. Honestly, being called that by both of them so suddenly made me a little awkward, but I answered politely. Hello, both of you. Qingrou looked at me tenderly. She was clearly pleased by what they called me. Make yourselves comfortable for now. As she spoke, she walked toward me. Song Wanwan gave it no further thought. She pulled Liang Shangsheng over to sit on the sofa. Liang Shangsheng asked curiously, Qingrou, do you need a rabies shot? Suddenly, she tugged on Song Wanwan's hand. Her voice strange. She gave a light cough. What? Song Wanwan turned and saw the two of us pressed together. She instantly covered her mouth. So, you opened the door just to let us watch you to be lovey-dovey. We are some seriously bright third wheels. The two women stiffly turned to look at each other. They were clearly both stunned by Qingrou's bold move. Do you still think I simply do not want to go public? I shook my head vigorously. No, you are truly incredibly open and bold. A trace of shyness crossed Qingrou's face. If that is still not enough, then we can go to the living room too, right in front of them. I abruptly covered her mouth. Terrifying. This woman was just as wildly unpredictable as she had been in my past life. Enough, really, enough, enough, really, enough. Qingrou held my gaze for 2 seconds. Something brushed against my palm. I instinctively pulled my hand back. I surrendered completely. I think I should get the vaccine first. Qingrou took my hand and led me toward the bathroom. Take a shower first. You cannot shower after getting the vaccine. I paused in surprise. But I don't have anything. Qingrou seemed to know what I was about to say. There are new toiletries in the bathroom. As for a change of clothes, I will go downstairs and get them for you. She went into the bathroom and got everything ready for me. You shower first. Once I bring them up, I will hang them on the door for you. I nodded, then reminded her. Then bring up a few extra outfits for me. Qingrou gave a gentle smile. Okay. With that, she turned and left, leaving the room to me. When she returned to the living room, the two women sitting side by side on the sofa were both watching her with strange expressions. Qingrou paused. Then she looked back at them calmly. What are you looking at? Liang Shangsheng shook her head with a smile. Song Wanwan raised her brows and clicked her tongue. Qingrou, I never knew you had this side to you. Heh. It was rare for Qingrou to be shy around her friends. It is nothing. You will be the same once you find a boyfriend. Song Wanwan pouted. I am not like you, okay? Qingrou headed out. Her tone was teasing. So that man from the Zhang family is different for you two, is he? Perfect. Then I do not need to tell you where he is. Song Wanwan immediately sprang up from the sofa. She hurried to Qingrou's side and pleaded sweetly. Qingrou, you have news about Zhang Fan? Qingrou said with a smile. Wanwan, are you not different? Why do you want news about him? I am the same, just like you. Qingrou, my dear Qingrou. Please tell me where he is. Qingrou had already reached the door. She stopped and gave Song Wanwan a meaningful look. Gang Cheng, go find him. Song Wanwan's playful expression vanished. She said earnestly. Thank you, Qingrou. With that, she left. She did not waste a second. Liang Shangsheng, still on the sofa, fell silent for a moment. Then she asked doubtfully, is that man from the Zhang family really in Gangcheng? The moment he arrived in Gangcheng this afternoon, I received word. However, She watched Song Wanwan enter the elevator. I heard he went to Gangchang with his girlfriend. Liang Shengsheng frowned. Then Wanwan, Qi Qingru's tone remained calm. If she can win him back, that is to her credit. If she cannot, then she needs to face reality. After all, she had driven him away with her own annex. She cannot blame anyone else. After saying that, she did not mention it again. She said to Liang Shengsheng, "Sit tight for now. I will go downstairs and pack a few things for Shicheng." Liang Shengsheng sighed softly. She nodded. "Okay, go ahead." The moment Qingrou opened the door downstairs, the cat rushed over. It meowed loudly, rubbing against her legs affectionately. Qingrou bent down and rubbed its head. She asked softly, "Why were you so mean to Chen?" The cat had no way to answer her. It only rubbed its head against her palm. Qingrou sighed softly. She patted its head. "Acting cute with me will not help. Tomorrow, I will have someone come trim your claws." With that, she headed straight for the bedroom. The cat followed behind her. The upstairs and downstairs apartments had the same layout. She easily found the master bedroom. She pushed open the door and turned on the light. Then she went straight into the walk-in closet. Qingrou looked at the closet, at the few scattered pieces of clothing. Her delicate brows drew together. She had never seen a Chen wear the same outfit twice before. Yet in the few times she had seen him this month, he seemed to be wearing the same few outfits. Qingrou picked out a set of pajamas for me. When she opened a drawer and saw my underwear, her face flushed with embarrassment. She casually grabbed a few and tossed them into the bag. By chance, Qingrou spotted a small black velvet box. I had seen that box before. A few days ago, Song Yi and I were at a styling studio. I had asked Song Yi, "Is it too simple? Too cheap? Will she like it?" Song Yi rolled his eyes. "Seriously, even if you gave her something expensive, she might not like it. Besides, look at your circumstances now. It is already good that you still want to buy her a gift." I sighed. "Well, that is true." Then I saw Qingrou. I immediately looked away. Qingrou had not heard what I muttered, but she could roughly guess that it was probably nothing nice. Qingrou knew who the item in this box was meant for. An indescribable feeling compelled her to pick up the box. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside lay an exquisite hair clip. A folded note lay beneath the hair clip. Qingrou pressed her lips together. She carefully pulled out the note. "Happy birthday, Momo." Qingrou's heart sank, just as she had expected, though she had known all along. The pain in her heart was still unbearable. If she remembered correctly, Momo's birthday had been 3 days ago. Why had Chen not given her the gift? Qingrou closed her eyes. "Shicheng, why did you suddenly choose me? Did Momo hurt you? So you are using me as a substitute?" Forcing her trembling fingers still, Qingrou put the box back. She packed everything up and turned to leave. When she returned to the bedroom, the water was still running in the bathroom. Qingrou hung the bag on the door. Then she knocked. The water soon stopped. My clear voice came from inside. "Qingrou, is that you?" Qingrou spoke, unable to hide the disappointment in her voice. "I hung your clothes on the door. Get them when you come out." "Okay," I replied. "I will be done in a moment." Qingrou said softly. There is no rush. She wanted to say something more, but in the end, she only lowered her eyes and walked away. Not long after, I came out of the bathroom. I sat beside Qingrou and had Liang Shengsheng give me the rabies vaccine. Qingrou watched beside me, her brows furrowed. When the needle pierced my arm, the slight sting made her frown faintly. Qingrou's gaze flickered. Liang Shengsheng had wanted to leave for a while. As a single woman, she keenly sensed something off in the atmosphere. So after explaining the precautions and scheduling the next appointment, she hurriedly said goodbye. I looked up at Qingrou. Our eyes met. "Qingrou, what is wrong?" I asked in confusion. Something was off about Qingrou's mood. She had been perfectly fine before I went to shower. Qingrou did not answer. Chen. I looked at her. "What is it?" She wrapped her arms around my neck. Leaning close to my ear, she whispered, "Will you marry me?" I could hardly believe it. "Marriage?" She stayed close to my ear. "Let us get engaged right now." "You mean, right now?" I was a little confused. "I mean, decide that we will spend our lives together now, and get our marriage license first thing tomorrow." Qingrou whispered in my ear. "Chen, will you marry me?" For a moment, I felt dazed. Marriage. Qingrou had brought it up many times in my past life. At first, I had been cold toward her. Later, after I became that way, I wanted it even less. Eventually, Qingrou stopped mentioning it. She simply stayed by my side in silence. But in a drawer in her study, I had seen a pair of custom-made diamond wedding rings. I had secretly tried one on. It fit perfectly. My silence made Qingrou's breath catch. The room was so quiet, we could clearly hear our hearts beating. There was a trace of disappointment in her voice. Chen, you do not want to. Of course, that is not it. I would love nothing more. Qingrou finally dared to look into my eyes. Qingrou, I am so happy. I held her and spun her around. Qingrou, I like you so much. I really want to marry you. Qingrou's heart clenched. If I had not known since childhood how deeply Chen hated me, if I had not just seen that hair clip he had failed to give away 2 days ago, I might truly have believed him. What a liar. Who said Chen was a bad actor? He was clearly very convincing, but even knowing it was a lie, in that moment, Qingrou was willing to savor it. She pouted. Chen, remember what you said. If I find out you lied to me. I could not help asking. Then what? Then I will cling to you and never leave your side. I will stick to you every day. Her. My heart gave a violent leap. She was becoming more and more like the Qingrou I knew. Just as Qingrou thought her words would scare me, I broke into a radiant smile. Sure. Then I asked curiously, but you said we should get engaged right now. It is almost midnight. How can we arrange everything? As long as Chen is willing. There is always enough time. Qingrou made a few calls. About an hour later, bags filled with all kinds of clothing and accessories were piled throughout the living room. She pouted apologetically and said, It is all because it is so late. Tomorrow, I will have more delivered. These were custom-made according to your preferences. Choose one to try on for tomorrow's photos. I responded with a puzzled, oh. Qingrou changed into a white dress in the bedroom. From the bags, I chose an outfit from the same collection as hers. We looked exactly like a couple in matching outfits. The doorbell rang. Qingrou leaned in and gave me a soft kiss. I looked at her with amused affection. Go answer the door. Once we're married, we'll have all the time in the world. Qingrou nodded in agreement. Then she turned and went to open it. The visitors were wedding planners and staff from a haute couture boutique. The moment they entered and saw us together, their gossip instincts flared. Before arriving, they had been complaining, wondering who was dragging people out at midnight to arrange a wedding. The 3 of them could not help speculating. They were rushing to settle the marriage so quickly. Could it be just as people online had guessed? Did Chen have something that could bind eldest Miss Qi to him? The next day, when we registered and took photos at the Civil Affairs Bureau, the staff clearly recognized us. Their eyes gleamed with gossip. We sat side by side. Qingrou looked at me and suddenly said, Wait. I looked at her in confusion. What is it? The staff held their breath too. Here it comes. The eldest miss is having second thoughts. Watching this drama unfold in person is thrilling. Qingrou gently adjusted my tie. It is a little crooked. Let me fix it. I smiled softly at the gentle, lovely woman before me. Is it good now? Smiling, Qingrou gave my cheek a light kiss. All done. I turned to meet the staff's astonished, excited gazes. I smiled awkwardly. The staff smiled back at me. They are so sweet. I am obsessed. Online rumors really cannot be trusted. Qingrou's cheeks turned slightly red. She sat back down, naturally looping her arm through mine. Then she told the photographer, All right, take the picture. The photographer's eyes lit up as she looked at us through the lens. I saw these trending today and thought the photos were heavily edited. But their beauty in person hits you right in the heart. My inner teenage girl is squealing. Before long, 2 red marriage certificates were placed in our hands. In that moment, Qingrou felt as though she were dreaming. Chen is my husband now. Chen is my husband now. Her fingers trembled lightly as she stroked the certificate. She turned to glance at me. I was staring blankly at the marriage certificate in my hands too. Qingrou pressed her lips together. She could not help wondering, was Chen happier now? Or more annoyed? As we left the Civil Affairs Bureau, Qingrou gave the staff the prepared thank you gifts. You are too kind. We were only doing our job. We wish Ms. Qi and Mr. Xi a happy marriage and a lifetime of love together. Qingrou's expression softened even further. Thank you. Once we got home, Qingrou saw that I still had my head lowered, staring at the marriage certificate in my hands. What are you looking at? Chen isn't unhappy again, is he? But I looked up at her happily. Qingrou. Qingrou stared at me, momentarily stunned. I asked her eagerly, can I post on Weibo? Qingrou looked a little confused. Weibo. I waved the marriage certificate in front of her. I want to post this on Weibo and announce our marriage. Is that okay? The moment Qingrou mentioned marriage, I thought of it. Was this not the perfect solution? If I posted our marriage certificate first and announced our marriage, would that not settle things with Sumu? Qingrou truly had not expected that I would be willing to make it public. Of course. She sat down beside me. Then I suddenly frowned. But I do not have my phone. Songyi has my phone. He has always managed my Weibo account too. Qingrou's eyes curved with a smile. Then I will post it. She took several photos of our marriage certificates. Then she logged into the Weibo account she had never used. Not long after, the trending charts exploded. No matter the time, through every meal and every season, we will stay together until our hair turns white. Attached were photos of 2 marriage certificates. Everyone had been discussing it heatedly, but Qingrou gave them the most direct answer. I looked at the post she had made, my gaze shifting slightly. Then something occurred to me, and I said, your parents do not know we got married yet, do they? Qingrou let out a soft laugh. Hubby. My face flushed, and my heart started racing. Qingrou chuckled. Instead of thinking about that, you should think about something else. I asked in confusion. Think about what? Qingrou moved closer to me. You should think about whether we will curl up in the living room and chat tonight, or go back to our rooms and rest separately. I asked, puzzled. What is the difference between those 2 options? Qingrou blinked at me. You can decide. I gave it some thought, then naturally took her small hand. Then, Qingrou, come back to the room and rest with me. Qingrou looked at our clasped hands. Chen, do not regret this. I looked at her in confusion. Why would I regret it? That night, Qingrou pulled up the blanket and wrapped herself up without hesitation. I stared at her blankly. What are you doing? Qingrou replied calmly. Sleeping. How can I sleep without covering myself properly? I was even more bewildered. Were you not going to rest with me? Qingrou reached out from beneath the blanket and patted the space beside her. I am. Come sleep? I still did not understand what was happening. That is it. Qingrou looked into my eyes. What else? Did you have something else in mind? We are already married, she said sweetly. I know. Mischief glinted in her eyes. She leaned in and lightly kissed my cheek. Chen is my husband now. Whether Chen truly loves me or not, he belongs completely to me now. I asked uncertainly. So you are sure? You want us to sleep so innocently on our wedding night? Qingrou blinked up at me. Because I think Chen still needs time to accept this and prepare himself. I do not want Chen acting on impulse. We are already married, so I am not in a hurry. I can wait patiently for Chen to truly fall in love with me. How was I supposed to know what she was thinking? I gave her a wicked grin. I do not need time to prepare. Then I need time to adjust. Chen, give me a little time, okay? Alright, let us sleep. After the light went out, the room fell completely dark. Only our soft breathing remained, rising and falling in turn. I thought I would be awake all night, but breathing in Qingrou's scent, I quickly fell into a deep sleep. Qingrou, on the other hand, listened to my breathing, unable to sleep at all. She was terrified that when she woke and opened her eyes, she would find it had all been a beautiful dream. Just then, she heard me mumble in my sleep. Momo, don't. Qingrou froze instantly. Her blazing emotions turned ice cold in an instant. I jolted awake from the nightmare. My entire body was drenched in cold sweat. My first instinct was to reach for my face with trembling hands. No scars. No rough, uneven skin. My breathing gradually steadied. For a moment, I nearly thought my rebirth had all been a dream. Phew. It was not a dream. I lay with my eyes closed for a long while, trying to recover. Before opening them, then looking beside me, Qingrou was gone. I sat up and looked at the clock beside the bed. It was only 6:30. Why was she up so early? I did not plan to sleep anymore either. I threw back the covers and got out of bed. Then I opened the bedroom door. On the balcony off the living room, Qingrou stood with her back to me. I walked over and hugged her from behind. Why are you up so early? The woman in my arms stiffened slightly. A few seconds later, she turned around. Why did you not sleep a little longer? She wrapped both arms tightly around my waist. Seeing how pale she looked, I asked her in confusion, "Did you not sleep well last night?" Qingrou did not answer. She raised her head and met my gaze. "What about you, Chen? Did you sleep well?" That left me feeling a little frustrated. I shook my head. "Not very well." Qingrou pressed her lips together. "Why?" I rubbed my temple. "I had a nightmare." Qingrou looked at me and asked softly, "What nightmare?" I furrowed my brow, unsure how to explain it. I dreamed of the day I came home in my previous life. Momo was already waiting for me at home. The moment I walked in, she started arguing with me. I said she was the one who handed me that drink, but she said that was impossible. Momo hurled whatever was at hand at me. "Momo, don't." At the thought of it, my arms around Qingrou tightened instinctively. Qingrou patted my back to comfort me. "It is nothing. It was only a nightmare." But Qingrou was not so easily fooled. She felt how rigid I was. Thinking back on what I had said in my sleep, the tone of my voice had seemed filled with intense fear. But at the time, jealousy had clouded her judgment, so she did not think much of it. Qingrou called to me in a trembling voice. "Chen?" Qingrou asked hoarsely. "Did Momo do something terrible to you?" I did not understand. "What?" Qingrou lifted a hand and gently caressed my face. "Did Momo do anything to you?" Her words brought my previous life to mind again. Suddenly, I could not bring myself to look at her. No, that was all in my previous life. Besides, she got what she deserved in that life. As for now, Momo no longer has a chance. Qingrou's delicate face was filled with displeasure. Afraid I would see it, she took a deep breath and suppressed her emotions. "Good. I am glad she did not." Qingrou buried her face in my chest. After a while, she suddenly asked, "The Shi family is holding a banquet today. Does Chen want to go?" The change of subject instantly diverted my attention. Shi Yibai's celebration banquet. I did not really want to go. I did not want to see the Yi family. They meant even less to me than strangers. Qingrou looked up at me. "If Chen wants to go, I will take you." I asked, confused. "Go for what?" Qingrou smiled with playful arrogance. "To watch the show, of course." I broke into a bold grin. "All right. Come to think of it, the Shi family had probably tried to contact me already. It was only because I did not have my phone. The Shi family did not dare make trouble at Qingrou's home either. That was why I had peace until now, with no one disturbing me. But we would have to meet sooner or later. The banquet was at noon. There was still plenty of time. After breakfast, Qingrou went to the study. The trending topic was causing a huge stir. Her phone was nearly ringing off the hook, but she turned it off and ignored everyone. When she turned it back on, she returned a call to her parents, who were traveling the world, then replied to a few friends. I went back to my room for another nap. When I woke, I changed into the custom suit Qingrou had sent over. The stylist waiting nearby did my hair. Qingrou sat beside me holding her phone, typing non-stop. I had no idea what she was doing. Once I was ready, I stood and asked, "Qingrou, is your husband handsome or what?" Qingrou looked up at me. She put away her phone, stood, and came before me. Smiling, she nodded. "Incredibly handsome." Then she changed into a custom evening gown in a matching color. Once her makeup and styling were complete, I gazed at her intensely. Unable to help myself, I leaned down and softly kissed her cheek. "My Qingrou is so beautiful." Standing beside me, Qingrou suddenly regretted it. She did not want Momo to see Chen looking so handsome. What should I do? Maybe I should take Chen out and show him off. Everyone would be green with envy. Chen is my husband. The stylist beside us squealed like excited prairie dogs. They are so sweet together. Such a perfect match. Qingrou's eyes curved even more with delight. She looked up at me. "Did you hear that, Chen? Everyone thinks we are perfect for each other." I gently ruffled the top of her hair. My voice carried a tenderness I had never shown, and an indulgent affection I had never given anyone else. "I am only meant for you." I took her hand and held it tight. In that moment, I finally broke free of every shackle from my past. I used to endure everything in silence, hiding my abilities at every turn, never wanting attention. I was used to keeping a low profile and concealing my edge. But now, I wanted to be bold. I wanted to stand beside my girl and let the whole world know how much I loved her. My open devotion made Qingrou's cheeks flush. "Then let us go out right now. I want everyone to see." That my husband is the best. I nodded and let her lead me out of the living room. The moment we stepped outside, we ran into someone hiding around the corner of the hallway, secretly watching us. Momo. She wore an elegant dress, with deliberately impeccable makeup, yet her eyes were fixed on me, filled with resentment and obsession. She had schemed at every turn before, secretly driving wedges between Qingrou and me, spreading rumors, and viciously smearing Qingrou. She had even set traps in secret, trying to tear us apart, hoping to force her way into my life and steal everything that belonged to Qingrou. How does she still dare show her face before us? When she saw Qingrou and me with our fingers intertwined, our eyes soft with affection, Momo's face turned deathly pale. The last shred of hope in her eyes shattered. In its place came fierce jealousy and bitter hatred. She stepped forward. Chen, are you really going to be with her? How am I inferior to her? I have done so much for you. Why have you never seen me? Before I could speak, Chen is my husband. I am the only one in his heart. Every scheme and obsession of yours was wrong from the start. I pulled Qingrou protectively into my arms. The warmth vanished from my eyes, replaced by bone-deep coldness. Everything you have done was not devotion. It was evil. I looked at Momo, speaking each word clearly. You spread rumors about Qingrou, set traps to frame her in secret, and tried to drive us apart. You even bribed others to viciously slander our relationship. I know every single thing you did. I had never held you accountable before. It was because I did not want Qingrou tainted by such filth. That does not mean I condone your malice. Momo's face turned ashen. She still tried to deny it, but the staff who arrived moments later cut her off. Those she had bribed to spread rumors for her had all voluntarily confessed the truth. The evidence was overwhelming. Every one of her schemes was exposed. The image she had carefully built completely collapsed. Her reputation was ruined. All the connections she had once relied on deserted her. For her selfishness, depravity, and vicious schemes, she paid a terrible price. She was abandoned by everyone, with no one to pity her fate. I looked down at Qingrou in my arms. It is over. The trouble is dealt with. No one can disturb us now. Qingrou looked up at me. Chen, there will not be any more of these awful troubles, right? Her eyes shone like stars. I answered solemnly. That is right. For the rest of our lives, there will be only peace and fulfillment. A few days later, our wedding arrived as planned. The venue overflowed with blooming flowers. Warm sunlight spilled across the grounds, soft and magnificent. Everyone who had ever treated us kindly and sincerely wished us well was there. There were friends who had quietly supported us and stood by us when we needed help. There were kind-hearted elders who had watched us along every step of our journey. There were also strangers we had once helped, who came with grateful hearts. Everyone wore a sincere smile, their eyes full of blessings. Dressed in a crisp formal suit, I stood at the end of the sea of flowers, my gaze burning bright, quietly waiting for my bride. When Qingrou, wearing a pure white wedding dress, slowly walked toward me, my world was completely filled with tenderness. Everything else faded into the background. She alone was my only light. Step by step, she came toward me, her eyes holding starlight and endless love. I stepped forward and took her hand, my voice gentle but firm. I once weathered every storm alone. I had seen the world's cruelty and tasted both the warmth and coldness of this world. I thought the rest of my life would be dull and lonely. Until I met you. You taught me tenderness. You gave me someone to cherish. You taught me what it means to love one person above all others, and what it means to be whole. Today, I take you as my wife. In every year to come, every morning and every night, I will keep you safe, give you tenderness, cherish you all my life, never leave your side, and never let you down. Qingrou's eyes reddened slightly. For all the long years ahead, I will be with only Chen, together through every year, relying on each other, year after year. Thunderous applause erupted below. Blessings rang out one after another. Warm and heartfelt, I lifted her hand and placed the ring on Qingrou's finger. Then I held my bride tightly. Warm sunlight brushed our faces. Flowers bloomed all around us. The whole venue overflowed with blessings. All the beauty in the world came rushing toward us. The storms had passed. Everything fell into place. From that day on, Qingrou and I remained together for life, at peace, year after year.